Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Samuel Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
You wanted the best, and you got the best. The hottest band in the world, Kiss.
All right, we're back. Another episode, Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, special Kiss episode, talking about the A&E Kiss documentary, Kisstory, and we're also going to do a ranking of all 20 studio records, and we have a couple Kisstorians with us. They've been here before. Greg Gorey and Ahmed Smith.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Yo.
Kisstorians.
How you doing, people?
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the A&E documentary. Damo, what you got?
Well, you want to start with? We'll do each one, part one.
Yeah, that's fine. We could all just interject with each other. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, part one. Overall, I thought if you're a diehard Kiss fan, you probably know most of this stuff, if not everything. I think for the casual Kiss fan or someone who doesn't know anything about them, it's a lot of cool info. I think even for the diehards, it was cool to see.
Yeah,
and also because of all the footage. I mean, a lot of cool stuff going on in the background, even if it was like,
yeah, there was definitely a lot of
3-4. Yeah, I mean, even if it was like quick.
I'm just talking about
quick.
Paul, man. Paul Staley should just put some shoes on or something.
He got comfortable.
Yeah, he
sitting there wiggling his toes the whole time. Like, what the
you
what's
were
up with
like,
that?
are you a foot guy, Mike? Were you watching?
No, I just find that just a little weird. I don't know.
There was one thing that I picked up, and it kind of bugged me. I was on Don. I was like, he's wearing this black like suit jacket, and on one of his shoulders is like some like
zipper,
white dust, dirt or something. It's like, dude, you come on, like, couldn't somebody tell him to? I mean, it's very noticeable. If you go back and watch it, you'll see it.
I got dust on me every episode,
dude. But it was a lot. It wasn't like a couple of speckles. It was like somebody got like powder and like on their hand and patted them.
Maybe, yeah.
You know?
I got dandruff. I have it on my shoulders all the time. Don't be hating.
But yeah, I thought episode was one was really, really good. Went into the origins of the band. I mean, mostly it was pretty much Gene and Paul's side of the story, and they tried to get Ace and Peter involved, and they declined. It was confirmed. It's not hearsay or anything. I know a little disclaimer popped up saying the same thing, and most people, I don't believe that. Well, no, I've been listening to Eddie Trunk, and he says that he confirms because he tried to get Ace and Peter. The director reached out to him to try to be like the mediator, to try to hoping that he would coax them into doing it, but it could have been about money. The director, he said that believe it or not, it wasn't like a huge budget. I don't know what they think.
With them guys, it's always about money.
It's always about money.
Dude, Ace will do it in a second for money.
You know what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even doubt this.
What's that?
Go ahead. To the credit, they still, I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Go ahead, man.
To the credit of the documentary and the production team, they still offered a plentiful audio of their perspective.
Oh, yeah.
From the past. So it's not like
it
they
was
didn't
great.
have anything said at all from their perspective. So
right.
Yeah, it was fair. I thought it was fairly done. That. Yeah. Mike, what was you going to say?
I was going to say they're probably going to have the other two kind of come back with like a rebuttal or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So that'd be nice.
You're going to see like a part like 2 to this thing. So you might see the other side.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a Trunk show about 6 months from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be. Anything else, Dame, from your perspective on night one?
I think the footage in the background was great. I thought. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that a lot of as Kiss fans, he's seen the stuff on YouTube, all the interview clips and the concert footage. But one clip I've never seen before was, the back. That was cool too. But the back cover of Alive, where you see the fans holding up the image.
Yeah.
Did you see the video? It was actually like a video of somebody
that's crazy.
like in the crowd. Like there's got to be concert footage from that or something.
I saw that on YouTube. I think there's actually a whole video of that on YouTube.
Really?
I think so.
I've never seen that before. I thought that was really cool.
Yep. Ahmed, what you got from night one for Kiss?
I was into it. It wasn't really anything I didn't already know, but I thought it was cool. Same thing with Dame said. All the little, I like the footage of them on the plane. I think they were coming from Japan around that, something like that. I thought that was cool. It was dope. I dig it. It's cool.
How about you, Greg?
Pretty much the same thing that both of them they said. I know the story inside and out. We've heard it thousands of times if you're a longtime Kiss fan. But the footage was really cool to see. And I just like the way it was done. Like hearing a candid perspective in that type of setting. It was more intimate in comparison to previous documentaries in the past. It didn't just seem like just some interview. Right. Being clipped into a biography. So I liked it a lot. And I actually learned a couple things, small things on there that I actually took notes on. So depending on how it goes, I can just interject with that. Like, before Alive came out, I had no idea that Neil Bogart, I knew he was broke. I knew the Casablanca and everybody was broke pretty much before Alive came out, but I didn't know he went to loan sharks to keep afloat. I had no idea about that.
I wasn't aware of that. Yeah.
I like how they put guys with vowels on their names.
It's great.
At the end of the name.
Names. And following with that, and to even continue with that, how he threatened to break Gene Simmons's legs if he didn't send the album to him without money. Yeah. It's like, I never heard any of that before.
That's some new stuff.
No.
That was some new stuff.
Well, has anybody read the Casablanca book? I have not read that yet.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Is it in there? Any good?
It was really good. Yeah.
Yep.
It was, the record label was built around Kiss and Donna Summer and
it was the disco
Parliament, so like those three were and the Village People. Those four groups built that and it became like a it was like a disco empire.
Disco saved it for a bit. It did. It definitely did.
Yeah. So looking back at it, when you mentioned that, is it really any surprise that Kiss went disco for a little while?
No, not at all.
Considering,
right?
Even though it was only one or two songs, but
Dirty Living's a disco song.
And I guess what? I love that song. I don't know why.
I love the album. I love all the directions.
It's like one song. Yeah.
One song.
Yeah.
Guess what? It wasn't even that bad. It's
but
for what it is.
No, I like it.
The I guess it leads into part two, but how they go into the first episode, it ends with them going into the disco stuff, Dynasty, and it was they had probably one of their biggest hits, what I Was Made for Loving You, but it was also but it was exposed them to a different fan base, but the fans that were there before kind of alienated them. So the original fan base kind of drifted apart to something else, and
the teenagers, the angsty guys, they were like, this isn't rock music, this is for kids.
That's a spot for me because I became a Kiss fan around the Kiss Meets the Phantom Dynasty time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When I hear all that shit about people saying, well, there was kids coming and all this shit, now I get a little bit offended because it's like we don't have ears or something. And I can recall now, like back then, like if the music wasn't cool, I wouldn't have been about it, regardless of how it looked like. So,
but the funny thing on that is that if you look back at it, though, we were them kids almost. I was like maybe.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
My first record was Destroyer, but I don't really remember. I remember more what they look like than the music when I was little. But I always liked them. But it was the look thing first, I guess, and then first time I really remember listening was probably Dynasty, because everything, I was probably 6 or 7 at that time, and that's where it really grabbed me.
That was
you know,
I got that for my 5th birthday.
Yep. So yeah, we're almost the same age. We're around the same age, so I could see that definitely. But
one thing I every time I hear, I'm 29, so I came much later into.
Oh yeah, you're young.
The fold. Yeah. Thanks. But I always hear naysayers say like, oh, if it wasn't for makeup, there'd be nothing or anything. And I always tell them, I said, you know, we all get in as kids from the makeup. That's what attracts us to it. But growing into adulthood, eventually that novelty is going to wear off.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for the music, that's what keeps us around. If you didn't like the music, then why would we still go to their concerts?
Them riffs are still great.
Remember, part 1, it says, and it's been documented before in books, that they were signed sight unseen.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It wasn't, you know, people like to say all the image and all that kind of shit, but they got signed without even being seen. So
that's true.
That it was their music before anything else.
Yep.
And they weren't even doing much of a show when they got signed anyway. I mean,
well, they got signed twice. If you look at it, they had 2 record deals.
Wicked Lester.
Wicked Lester, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were already legit, you know.
That whole story, I mean, yeah, I've known about it, but man, it really put it into perspective. Like those 2 guys, man, they gave up a fucking record deal with a major label, Epic Records, and they just said, you know what, fuck it, man, this isn't us. I mean, you got to give them a shitload of credit. I mean,
that takes balls.
You know, you work your entire life. I mean, they were young; they're in their 20s, but it was like their dream. You know,
and one of us would be like, okay,
yeah. For some, it's the only shot that people have. You know, to have that much confidence in yourself, that takes a lot of guts.
I think the last strain from them was, and I read a couple books. I even read that couple of them Gordon Gebert books, whatever his name is, Herbert Gebert.
Yeah,
I read some of that stuff, which is great stuff. But I don't know what's true, what's not true, but it's great stuff. And I always heard about the end of Wicked Lester had a lot to do when they brought in was it Ronnie Lejack?
Yeah.
Was that
guitar player?
So.
Total musician guy, but could have cared less, but about nothing but the song. They were like, this guy, it's not just about that kind of deal. I think that was like the beginning and the end of that, you know.
Imagine how pissed off at first everybody else from Wicked Lester had to been.
Dude,
they lost out.
They
and then all of a sudden they become the biggest band in the world. Imagine how sour they had to have been.
They probably had hits out for Gina Paul. You know?
Oh, dude! Like, I'm sure Dave Mustaine could you know, relate.
Yeah,
right.
At least you heard of Dave Mustaine after that.
At least,
yeah.
You know, but at first, you know, those couple years, that must have been very sore.
Oh, yeah. The only name that pops up is Steve Cornell. That might be the only name that pops up once in a blue moon, you know, for writing some of the stuff on the first record.
Was that on?
Yeah, he did. I think he did. Steve Cornell, that's the only guy that really pops up. Because I got on the with you, right? She with them, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah. But, he got arrested for like child porn or something.
Something crazy, something crazy.
Wow.
Like that. What was that you were saying?
That one guy in the band, I think he said the Gene in the documentary was just like, you can't quit, or we're not quitting. You're not giving us up or whatever. And he's like, okay, well then fine, we'll quit. And then just yes.
Yep. And as far as I know, none of them did anything after that.
Well, they could have continued.
They could.
Yeah, right.
They probably tried. They just didn't get as lucky, I guess.
Yep. Mike D, night 1. What'd you think?
So probably, you know, being the least Kiss fan out of everybody in here. I always liked the image of him, but it was just like, for me, it was like, by the time I got into him, like by the time I actually heard him, a lot of their stuff was like on the cheesy side to me.
Well, you hit the 80s. That's when you started listening to him.
Right. And then somebody, like I bought, like real cheap, I bought a bunch of their old vinyls, and then like their older stuff was like really, really good. I like their older stuff. But like a lot of this stuff on night 1, I actually knew a lot of it. There was a few tidbits in there, but for not being a Kiss fan, like I heard a lot of it.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of like, I think I even said the answer. I'm like, it wasn't like, you know, it's not like I heard all this before kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I have to say that surprising, as a big Gene fan, we all know he's very egotistical. And one thing I have to say, as like following him the last like 10 years, he's definitely grown up a lot. He's definitely humbled a lot. He's chilled.
Yeah.
And a testament to that is the fact that he actually admitted to letting fame get to his ego.
Yeah.
You know, like that.
Yeah.
That's not very Gene-like to say that, you know, like, so from comparing to the past.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that
that took me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the things that I took away too, is because the first episode is it's like the rise, and then they're talking about the individuals started to kind of like stray, like Ace and Peter. You always hear that they're the fuck ups, but and Gene and Paul always paint themselves as like there's nothing wrong with them. But was cool to see Gene kind of own up to his shit, but it still seemed like Paul was still like,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't think Mike did. I'm not sure if Greg did, but I know me, Damien, and Ahmed have been around Gene for a little bit. In passing, I was at some record thing, and these guys opened up for them for a show. And guess what? Fucking Gene's cool as shit, man. He was awesome.
Yeah, after meeting him a couple times, he's very cool. Like,
he's always nice, super nice.
Yeah, he's very gracious when you talk to him. A couple times I met him, that's when I knew that what you see on TV is definitely a persona.
Yeah,
that's just him being funny. Just
he plays it up.
Hamming it
right.
up.
I mean, right.
Yeah, you're gonna have a reality show and just be like kind of boring. You got to ham it up a bit.
Yeah,
he's been doing it since Mike Douglas show.
Yeah.
When he walked out on stage and he played the whole thing. I'm really just a member of KISS.
I'm surprised they didn't put that clip in there.
Yeah.
The Tom Snyder one was great.
That's always great. I still love that one.
That's fantastic,
dude. And they are still pissed about
that. It was great, dude. You watch Gene's face.
The look on his. Oh my god, man!
Hi,
you could tell.
Yeah.
The funny thing about watch the next interview they do is for Kids Are People Too. And Ace says, "Can everybody breathe okay now?" And then watch Gene. He gives Ace this dirty look, like,
"Don't start that shit."
Yeah. That's kind of fun. But yeah, that's Tom Snyder's probably my second favorite KISS interview.
It's so good, man.
Oh, it really is.
I saw that years before. I think you showed it to me before, Al. And I was like, oh my god, it was funny back then, but
it was hilarious.
It was fucking great. It might not have been great for them at the time, but it was great.
I think it had to have been great for them at the time because that's a fun interview.
Yeah,
anybody who's watching it entertained. That's why I don't understand. Like, I can understand the frustration at the time, considering what they knew backstage, behind the scenes, with the relationship with Ace. So to them, it's just, oh god, Ace is just being a fuck up again. And but looking at it now, all you have to do is just watch it like a couple weeks later when it airs. Go like, you know what? That's actually not a bad interview. Like it humanized them.
Yeah, here you go. That's what it does. That's exactly what it did.
Yeah.
It took the
mystique away
a little bit. Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're sour.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet that's why.
Yeah. It's exactly. They're trying to portray the one thing, like the one that, if you watch the whole long interview where he asked Peter, "Well, Peter, what did you want to do?" "I want to be a gangster," or whatever. Gene's like, gave him a look. He's like, "What? You could be a demon and I can't be a gangster." Yeah. And then when they said in the first night, or I don't know if it was the second night, first night, when the interview happened, and they turn around and they say, that you think Peter was having fun. He was having fun because the other two of us were miserable. I thought it was even funnier.
Yeah.
Like he was eating it up, Ace was on fucking 10.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought it was great. Part one. I mean, reading some of the gripes from some people, they were like, how come they didn't mention, they didn't mention Rock and Roll Over, Love Gone Alive too. It's like at that point, time. Yeah, I mean, you only have so much time, and it's not really like
nothing happened.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
they were on top of the world. That's not really drama.
Exactly.
It was all the same whirlwind.
Yeah.
Right.
If you look at it, rock and roll, I guess maybe Destroyer to, I guess, before the solo albums came out, whatever. It was just one big fucking massive.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they were showing like the struggles in the beginning, the first 3-4 albums, and then they started to rise. I mean, there's really, what are they going to say? Oh yeah, we put out Rock and Roll Over. They're great. We toured.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
They're great.
The only other thing that would have fit in there that they could have mentioned that they've mentioned before in past documentaries or interviews or whatever is when they put the blood in. They did the blood in the comic book.
They didn't really mention too much. Yeah, they really didn't mention it, did they? No,
that could have solidified how big they were.
I thought they did say that.
They talked about the merchandise a lot, but
I think there was like clips and footage,
like a news clip of it. I think it was.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? We see that footage so much that it's in our head that it was there no matter what.
Right?
Exactly.
But for me, I mean, I love the whole thing. The part one was great. There was some cool stuff I'd never seen before that they thrown in there. Like you said, a lot of the pictures, there were some pictures I'd never seen before. I love that they showed the struggle. And you look at Gene. I mean, they're little kids, man. They're kids. Gene's like this thin, it's weird.
Yeah. You look at their arms; they're like toothpicks.
Yeah, and I like it.
And they're still too big to dress like the New York Dolls.
I can't hear you. I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, I love the. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the pictures where they're not wearing the makeup and they're covering their faces and shit like that.
Great.
Yeah.
Those are my type of pictures.
Any of the unmasked, non-makeup photos in the 70s are always my favorite because you don't see them it's like seeing somebody new. Like, it's like I've never seen, Paul that young, always had the makeup on. Yeah. So even now it's still cool to see, like that side,
Yeah.
Part of me is surprised that they let somebody take their picture even.
Right. Yeah.
Even like friends or whatever.
Right.
I think most of them were personal photos, like of their road crew or whatnot, just hanging out. It wasn't like press. I think that's what it's mostly from.
I think a big thing was, and I didn't see the documentary, but I know Damien's seen the documentary, the Cream documentary. But I know I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. The one girl, I just heard another interview. They were on another show, and the girl who was close to them, that would do a lot of the Cream magazine stuff for him. She had some personal pictures, and somebody that I guess might have worked for Cream kind of robbed the pictures out and put them out, and then she took a lot of heat for years that she was the one that let the picture out. It wasn't even her.
They must have done a great job hiding those photos because they're not that circulated.
Yeah,
you can never do it now. I mean, even Ghost kind of hid it for a little bit, but
they did pretty good for
about
this
5-6 years.
Yeah, which is still tough. But once they blew up, it was open. It was open. But I thought night one was great. I love the way it kind of like near the ending, how it kind of gave that little bit of tension and then just showed the kiss symbol at the end. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. And we're going to go into night two here. Night two, of course, because it's a lot of footage that, when they show a lot of Eric Carr footage, I love it. Night two, Dame, what do you think?
I thought night two was incredible, man. I thought it was, I enjoyed it a lot more than the first one. And I didn't going into it before I even saw part one. I was thinking, part one's going to be amazing. And then part two, they're probably just going to gloss over the 80s stuff. They'll talk about it for 10 minutes. And dude, it was not like that at all. It was for the first hour, it was all like the 80s stuff and the struggles like they were going through. And I was really happy. There was like a good chunk about Eric Carr because, he deserves the recognition,
Yes, absolutely. I was very surprised that that's exactly what I thought. I thought it was just going to be like maybe just a blip on the radar, just to be like, a few pictures and whatnot. We took off the makeup, then all of a sudden, boom, reunion. Because that's what they normally have done.
Right. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was expecting that, but I liked it even more than the first part because they were showing us stuff that we never get to see from different perspectives. And, the confrontation that Paul Stanley had with Gene going, yo, you're fucking me here.
Yeah.
They never talked about that really.
No,
they mentioned it a little bit in books, but not in that kind of context, in detail. I was very impressed and happy with that.
Yeah, it was a lot of drama and shit going on in that second up. Yeah, I mean,
they didn't really hold back. They didn't hold back at all, man.
No, I mean, one thing I kind of I didn't really agree with too much is like Paul was trying to I know where he's coming from because he's really trying to sell Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer with the Catman and Spaceman personas. So he said something like, the fans weren't really receptive to the new characters. It's like, No, dude, you put out 3 records in a row that doesn't sound anything like
It didn't help the cause.
your old stuff. You know, Dynasty, Unmasked, and The Elder. It's not like, and I love those records, but you know, it's not really like Kiss sounding classic hard rock stuff. You know, like that's why the fans weren't there, not because they had new characters. I think Eric Carr was probably the most beloved member. You know, I mean,
the worst makeup.
Outside of the
I like Eric Carr.
I like this. Yeah,
I love all those makeup
horrible
designs. I loved Eric Carr's makeup.
Me too.
What's his Vinnie Vincent looked kind of freaky though.
I thought it was so
creepy
cool.
looking.
I like all the makeup designs. I like all of them. But I always found Vinny's very intriguing looking. Like
he's kind of evil looking.
Yeah.
Then they show him out the makeup and he looks
They did mention that they had no intentions of getting him involved in this at all.
They didn't want him.
They didn't want him because you know what would happen. They would interview him. They would have him in there for whatever, and then he wound up suing them for something.
Yeah, and losing again.
Yeah,
you know, one thing. This is definitely gonna. I'm definitely toting my Kiss nerd here. When they showed the footage when they first unmasked on MTV, every other time I've seen that footage, it's always been like, you know, they show the faces.
Yeah, it was different this time.
Makeup, it was different. You know, like before it was all just like Creatures of the Night from a Creatures of the Night photo shoot, but this time they had Gene Simmons from Unmasked, Creatures of the Night for Paul and of course Vinny, but the Elder picture with Eric Carr. Yeah, I don't know why they changed that. I don't know if I wasn't alive when it happened, so I'm not sure if that's the original.
I remember watching it when it. How about you, Ahmed? I remember watching it the first time they showed that on MTV. I remember staying up late to watch it.
I missed it. We didn't have cable then. I had to wait until I saw it on Dancing on Air.
Oh shit! Love it.
The video for Lick It Up on Dancing on Air.
That's awesome. Actually, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Ahmed, what you think of night 2?
I loved night 2. I was looking forward more to this one than I was the second one. I like the part that they went in deep about having to take the makeup off and how bad it was for them. Because I don't think a lot of people really realized that. I know I didn't. I remember at the time just thinking Creatures of the Night was probably one of the best albums that they've ever done. Like it's in my top 5, but they were tanking in America. It's like, what the fuck?
Too little, too late for that album to be a big success.
Yeah. I kind of, maybe there's just not enough stuff to talk about, but the Animalize and the Asylum area is like, that never really gets covered too much. And I thought that I wish there would have been a little bit more there.
Yeah.
But
you think there would be because Animalize was back to, in a sense, I guess back to form. But you know, they were hitting top 40 singles.
They were doing really well. They didn't really mention that, you know?
No.
That's what I'm saying. You think
that's
they would have? Because Paul was always on MTV doing those guest VJ spots in the early 80s and shit like that. So you would think that they would, you know, talk about that a little bit more, but you know,
I never understood that narrative on why, like, obviously in comparison to like, you know, the mid 70s, it's not as successful. And from hearsay, you know, Kiss wasn't the cool band anymore, even throughout the 80s, but they were still selling platinum albums and having concert rotation on MTV and, you know, packing in arenas.
Mm-hmm.
So how I don't understand how they consider that lean years when bands that were considered cool at the time were still opening for Kiss. Yeah. You know, like they were still headliners.
Yeah.
Well,
I never understood that narrative. I understand in comparison, but that's it.
Though, next to the 70s, though, the 80s weren't shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They were definitely.
Yeah, I understand that.
They were losing money. They were definitely losing money.
In comparison, absolutely.
Yeah. Followers then next to Motley Crue and Rat and all those other bands.
Def Leppard and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, who said, I think Tom Morello said it in part 2. He said, like, you know, they were, you know, in the 70s, they were leaders. In this one, they were just like in the crowd, they were followers, you know.
I agree. 100%.
Most when you think about it, though, like if you look at it, most bands from that 70s era, pre-MTV era, were doing the same thing.
Oh,
You gotta stay afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aerosmith,
Ozzy.
especially Aerosmith. You know, like Aerosmith changed their entire sound.
Yeah.
To
Genesis.
fit in with the MTV stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like
bands.
I think Kiss, I think it made sense when you look back at it. It's a very, to me, it's a seamless progression. You know, like they were always sort of a glam band in the 70s. So it's like they seemed pretty much tailor made for the glam stuff in the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was Foghat or something, I'd be a little awkward.
Well, they look old back then, you know?
Yeah.
Mike D, you got anything on this night?
Turbo.
Yeah.
What's that?
Turbo. Yeah.
You know
Priest
what?
of that Turbo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love
thought
Turbo.
I thought it was kind of cool how when Paul got that operation to fix his ear, and he told Gene that he got some surgery on the spot or whatever, and I guess Gene didn't know what was going on, and he took that puddle jump for like this dangerous airplane, and he was like, I hate them things, you know, and it kind of like humanized him a little bit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he did mention that quite a bit, the whole ear thing. I guess that must have been really, really tough for him, especially.
I never knew about that.
He had it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So
He didn't start talking about it, I think, until
The book. I didn't know
Phantom of the Opera.
Really. Oh yeah.
I heard about that in the 90s. I remember somewhere.
Sorry to interrupt that, man. You were about to say something?
no, I was just going to say he had mentioned before that he was deaf in one ear. I knew that, but I didn't know that he didn't have an ear and they had to re-sculpt his ear, like give him one.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but yeah, it was crazy seeing that picture of him all wrapped up.
Yeah.
Had his first operation. What was that, around the time of Unmasked? I think it was.
Nah, I think it was like
After, right?
Creatures, like 82-ish, I think.
Yeah.
Right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mike D, anything else on night 2?
No, I mean, a lot of that stuff I never even heard of. Like, I didn't even know like Carr dying when he was still in the band.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea. Like, that was pretty messed up.
Yeah,
That was always heartbreaking.
I mean,
that.
it was cool how they at least let him get in there and do that last shoot, you know.
Yeah.
And it was almost like he knew what was going to happen, and kind of like I'm thinking he's doing it because he doesn't want to get like knocked out of the band, but I think he knew that was going to be his last.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think it was you know, in hindsight, it's prophetic, you know, with that type of song, God gave rock and roll to you, you know, like that, just the whole thing. Like, and he was in a wig doing that. I don't think they didn't mention that part, but
well, I assume that.
Yeah.
You assume because
of
chemo and everything. Yeah, but he was in a wig and he was playing his heart out as best he could. You could tell, you know, like hindsight.
Yeah. They mentioned that in one of the other documentaries that he had the wig on and shit.
Yeah.
I think it was Kissology.
Yeah,
I can't watch
That's where I heard it.
That video is hard to watch knowing.
It is.
Yeah.
That whole part's just heartbreaking. Like, I was even tearing up, and I heard the story so many times. You know, it's someone who's been beloved by everybody. I never heard a bad thing about Eric Carr. Exactly. You know, he's my favorite drummer of all time.
And
you know,
they showed that
yeah.
I'm sorry, they showed that footage where he was like in the hospital bed, and he was like you just had a heart operation. You're like jumping around and stuff. I'm like everything's going to be all right. It's like, but like, wow.
Yeah.
That makes it even worse, you know. Like,
I know,
he was on high spirits, and wasn't it actually a brain hemorrhage that killed him? Wasn't that what happened?
Or something, right?
It was a tumor in his head, I guess, like spread or something like that, without being detected.
Yeah, it was the heart first,
surgery,
and then the heart,
got a
and then
tumor.
it was
and a hemorrhage, and that's what really killed him. That's at least that's what I've heard.
So, Greg, what did you think of night 2?
I absolutely loved it. It was to me everything I was hoping for, not expecting, which definitely made me extra happy. Since we had definitely talked about the first half of the second part, I loved the reunion and farewell footage backstage with Peter Criss. I've never seen that one. That was very interesting how they're pretty much arguing with each other, you know, and Gene Simmons threatening him, going like, yo, yeah, play with him again. Go ahead, play with Doc again. Like that was heated. And, you know, you always heard about that, but no footage. I've never seen any footage of that before.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like part one was great. Part two, like I said, for the same reason you guys all loved it. Part one we heard so many damn times, and part two we kind of knew most of the story, but they went a little in deeper, you know. And I love when they talked about Doc McGee and all that stuff, and you know, even with you know, Ace and Peter, man, as much as we all love them, same deal. You know, there's no secret that, you know, you go from being millionaires to being probably almost broke. They're playing clubs like we would be playing, you know, maybe a little bit better. And then they get their second chance, man. Like Aerosmith, you get your second chance, and then you fuck up your second chance because you get greedy again.
Yeah.
You can't be.
Let's
Old
talk.
habits die hard.
Yeah, you can't listen. You can't expect to get paid the same amount of money if you leave
like,
and come back.
You lost
You
your
can't.
time.
Yeah,
You did. They put years into keeping that afloat. If it wasn't for them trudging along, and you know, almost a sinking ship in a sense, if it wasn't for them, you would have no reunion to cash in on.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
so how are you going to say, "Oh, I deserve more" or as much? No, absolutely not.
You know what? Like, I think Peter sold his rights like back in the like late '80s,
Right.
but Ace sold his shit like in '93 or '94. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you should have just held on for a couple more years. He would have still had a say. You know, it's like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's their fault for selling their part of the company.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, what do you just, you know, you quit a band and then 15, 16 years later, you come back and you think that you're going to be.
Thanks for holding up, guys.
It's like,
exactly. You know, reaping the benefits of their hard work.
The crazy part about that is when he tried to leave the band the first time, Gene's like, stay in the band. You can have a solo career and be in the band. It's just like, well, what the fuck? And now in this day and age when people are in multiple bands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He could have had his cake and eat it too. Like,
He really could have. And also, you know, around the time when he probably sold his makeup rights, when they were talking about, you know, of course, since Hot in the Shade, there was constant, you know, rumors about reunions happening.
That clip.
And
that
clip, he seemed almost indignant about that. You know, I guess he thought he was being left out because Peter Criss was involved with the conventions and everything. So I never saw that clip before either. So there's a lot of unseen stuff, at least for me, that were on that. I found very interesting.
I think when he was talking about the possible
reunion.
Yeah, that was right around 90, around the Trouble Walking time.
Yeah, he seemed very indignant about it.
Yeah, that was a cool clip. I never saw that.
I'll tell you what, though, and Ace could say no. If they offered Ace X amount of dollars, he'll be there.
Oh yeah,
he'll be there right next to Tommy Thayer, dressed up the same. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He'll be right up there.
He said, heard him say, if the check's big enough, he'll do it.
Yeah. You know, speaking of Tommy Thayer and everything, a big revelation that's caught on tape, said from a horse's mouth. You know, Gene and Paul, of course, they get the flack from a portion of the Kiss Army because, you know, they're having Tommy and Eric in the makeup and everything. Especially Tommy, for some reason, he gets the most flack. The fact that Ace said, I'm not going to go on another tour. He was offered another tour. Yeah. And he says, and I quote, no, you guys can do another tour. I ain't. Put the makeup on Tommy Thayer for fuck I care.
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's a problem because of success. You know?
Yeah. you know what bothers me the most? And, you know, like I said, I love the band. It's my favorite band. I just feel bad. I think Tommy's good, man. Tommy's perfect fit. Tommy's a workhorse. Tommy's great, man. Tommy's a better Ace than Ace right now, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not.
He can play.
Ace is Ace, but, you know, but he can play. And he plays the part well. My thing is that fucking Bruce. I felt bad for Bruce more than anybody.
Me too. Absolutely.
And he got a good amount of, you know, airtime, I thought, you know?
Bruce is the most loyal out of anybody they had. At least he always stays professional.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what he really is thinking, you know?
Bruce, Eric Singer, and Tommy Thayer have always been like angels to Gene and Paul.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Never complained about anything, always showed up, always did their part.
Professional.
That's why I felt bad when those two guys didn't get a character, because before Eric Singer was in the cat makeup, people treated like he was a new member, pretty much. I don't ever really remember hearing any static about Eric Singer until he put the makeup on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's been with Kiss a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, since '92, officially, but
Off
like
and on, yeah.
hell, it's funny. Like I don't recall anybody ever bitching about Eric donning the cat makeup to finish the farewell tour. No one bitched about it.
Oh,
No.
dude, I remember back then people were.
People did. People did.
I know I was the first one to be like, okay, I'm not cool with this. Why the fuck?
I wasn't. It just looked weird, man. But
he didn't put on right or something.
Yeah, he does do it differently.
He does do it differently. Yeah. When I first saw Tommy in the band, I think it was American Bandstand, the 50th anniversary of that. That was his first appearance. I was watching when it aired. I thought it was Bruce. I immediately thought it was Bruce. I'm like, oh, that must be Bruce Kulick.
Yeah.
You know, because that's definitely not Ace. You know, I thought it was Bruce at first.
Yeah.
The first time I saw Tommy in the makeup was that that 70s show thing that they did when they were trying to create 1975 or something like that. That was
the old commercial, the little music video they did.
He doesn't look enough like Ace to or you know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It looks too tribute band when it's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their own characters or just take it off.
I wish they did, but
I would be all right if they took it off. It wouldn't bother me at all.
I became a Kiss fan in '93, and it was from watching Confidential. Yeah. And so my introduction was 100,000 Years when they went back to the Cobo Hall footage of Gene Simmons Spitting Blood. That was my first image I ever saw of Kiss, and it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah,
I was intrigued. My mom tells me this all the time. That's why I remember. But like, you know, I was a toddler. But as I'm watching and just mesmerized by it, the rest of the video was them without makeup with different people. And then my dad just gave me a bunch of stuff from that point all the way back. So to me, growing up with Kiss was like, okay, this is Kiss. That was also Kiss. And all of this is Kiss. So I don't have that. Of course, I have an attachment to makeup, but not specifically in personnel.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I don't really bother too much. It doesn't really bother me very much. Yeah, I don't have that attachment.
I feel the same way. I liked it all. I liked it all.
Yeah, really me too.
I think the makeup separated them. I think that made them, you know, who they were in a certain sense. Like
initially, yeah,
the personalities, you know.
But I think that's what attracts you to them. I don't think they were really attracting new fans without it. I think
I could be wrong. In the 80s, I think they totally did.
Absolutely. If you watch the Animalize
live video, great
video.
Concept. Yeah.
Most of them were teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, like people that weren't there in the heyday. You know, that's a big testament.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Listen, if you're in a band and it could be Black Sabbath, could be Ozzy, could be Kiss, you know, it could be anybody that's been around that long time. When you look into the crowd, now, nothing against it, but do you want to see 50 and 60-year-old people in your crowd, or you want to see this young crowd? You want to see the young crowd.
I want to see young people, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
They have energy.
And, it shows you generations. Kiss came out in the 70s. You have the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. That's 5 generations of Kiss fans. Yeah. You know? That's impressive.
Paul says it all the time, and it's the truth. It's pretty much a rite of passage to see Kiss if you're into rock music. It really is. It's pretty much, it's very tribal, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. So let's move on to the next part of the show. We're going to rank the Kiss album covers from worst to best, and we're going to go
just the artwork.
Just the art. Yeah, just the artwork. Good point. Just the artwork. The album cover. We're going to go Dame, Ahmed, Greg, Mike, then me. Coming in at number 20, Hot in the Shade. What do you got, Damo?
This was easy. It just looks, the album cover is just really bad. It's just stupid. It's just dumb, man. It's just the Sphinx with a pair of sunglasses. It's just
a little lazy.
Oh my
God.
It made for a great stage.
It's so
concept.
corny, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
but
awesome. Did everybody have this last? I did.
Almost everybody.
I think
mine's 20.
Mike had it somewhere low, but that's low.
Maybe like 3 from the bottom or something.
I think me, Ahmed, and Damien would have had it all low, low. But Ahmed, what you think of Hot in the Shade, which I already know?
Hot in the shit.
Hot in the
Hi.
shit. Yo,
Yeah,
Damien
said that to him.
texted me your list, and I seen that. I sent Damien a message saying, ha 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 ha.
Shit.
It was funny. I was like, Ahmed, ha 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 ha.
Cover ever. It's just looked like they didn't even fucking care. It's just like,
Yeah.
let's just take this picture out of this book, put a fake ass Kiss stamp on it, and be like, here's your shit.
It's so bad.
Wasn't the album mostly demos anyway?
Yes,
they just
yes.
polish up a little bit.
Yeah, they did it in
So
a demo studio. Yeah.
I do have to give them credit though, like that's always been the story around it. So to call it Hot in a Shade, which of course we all know when you abbreviate, it's hits.
Yeah.
You know, so like to me that's good irony. I have to give them
I
that
didn't even
credit.
pick that up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To me, that's good irony. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's how I pick it up. You know, like,
Yeah.
oh, these are demos. These are hits. You know, like,
Mike,
right, I like the album. I do.
I love the album.
Yeah,
Mike
me
D,
too.
what do you got on the album cover?
Yeah, I mean, it was just the Sphinx with the glasses on. Like, I don't know if like you look. What year was that?
90.
89.
89.
89,
So,
yeah.
you know, vinyl was still kind of coming
Still
out.
coming
around
out.
that time.
I bought it Stories Records.
I have
had
it. Yeah.
That comes out. Like, does that really attract you to want to buy it if you don't know the band or whatever? It's like,
For me, I didn't really like the album cover. They should have made the back cover the album cover.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should have made the back album. But like Greg said earlier, the Sphinx thing worked fucking great live.
Yeah, that's a different
So
story.
cool.
That's a totally different. That was the first time I ever saw Kiss.
That was a great tour. But yeah, Hot in the Shade, not a good album cover. Moving on to number 19, Damo, Carnival of Souls.
It's a lazy cover. It's it's just them standing up, looking on, interested in a recording studio. It's just,
Factual.
yeah, it's just,
That's totally what it was. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. Ahmed.
Go sign on what Dame said, man. It's beat. It's just they're just showing. And they called it the final sessions, Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing
Yeah.
creative. Nothing
Right.
creative.
Yeah.
Greg?
Same thing. Carnival of Souls, number 19. It's like you guys said, it's lazy. I also think it's an awful subtitle, the final sessions, considering they just became like the biggest band in the world again. So
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why are you calling it the final sessions? Just call it Carnival of Souls. I like the
Mhm.
album at least,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
you know,
I love
It's grown on me. It's grown on me a lot.
yeah, it's not a traditional Kiss album, but to me,
That's
I like it when they get experimental. I like it. To me, it's like, hey, Kiss wanted to try to be Alice in Chains, and to me, they did it well.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
why I love it. They've proven that they can do all these different styles. They can be
Mhm.
heavy, they can be disco, they can be soft like Forever. They
Yep.
can do it all.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Exactly, which means they're great songwriting musicians.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is proof that
Absolutely.
they can adapt well.
Mike D, what do you got on the Carnival of Souls album cover?
I like the album. That's probably one of my favorite by them, believe it or not.
No, it's a great.
Very
record.
good.
But looking at that album cover, it's like the Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one, Mike.
You know
Yeah.
what sucks is that the album name is
Song.
pretty cool. Like
Cool
Carnival
name.
Souls. Like
Yeah,
the name.
you would. It could have been
You-
so much better.
I know, man. You could
Absolutely.
think like something. I don't know. You could think something like pretty dark and wicked, But
I thought.
Yeah.
I think do you guys remember the "I Just Want a Music" video?
Yeah.
When they do that little interlude with all the harmonizing and
Yeah,
it's all like
yeah.
blurry and blue. That would have been a cool concept, like something along that. Just get a still image of them four with that kind of effect. That would be
Blurry or
awesome. I
something.
think.
Well,
Yeah,
Blurred
actually,
out.
I'm surprised they did not do this I think it's the Kiss My Ass video. Ian's talking about, well, we're doing a studio album and the cover looks like this. And it's this dude's head that's on
on
fire.
fire. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
that's
the
awesome.
idea of that cover. And I'm surprised that they didn't use that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasted
Yeah, I
opportunity.
think they just threw it together because they were doing the reunion tour. They made the record. They figured out maybe we'll sell a couple of records. We'll see what happens. We'll just throw it out there, kind of deal.
Right.
And I
It
think
wasn't
that's what they
old.
did. Yeah,
Keep the shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely weak. Going on to number 18, Damo, Music from the Elder.
Yeah, I didn't have this. I didn't. I had this somewhere like in the middle, I think, on my list, but it averaged out to be like one of the worst. I mean, it's just like, again, it's kind of boring. It's just it's a door with a hand. I mean, it's just you know,
Yeah,
doesn't do nothing for me.
Man.
Same thing. It's boring as shit.
Yeah,
They should have used the Killers cover for that.
yeah. That I agree with
That
you.
would be a good one. Yeah.
That's what they should exactly did. Mike Dick.
Knock, knock, and you open that door and you close it real quick.
Greg.
That's a little higher up for me, because you know, I think it definitely fits the mood of the album. You know, that really gothic looking door and whatnot, like it's like medieval sounding. So I think it definitely fit for its purpose. But yeah, it is a boring album cover in general. Number 18 for me was Monster, because I thought it's a good picture, but only a good promo picture. It's like they didn't even try. And also the logo of Monster is Monster Energy.
Yeah,
how you get away with that? Stupid. Like, how did they get away with that?
Yeah, same logo.
Yeah, it's very similar.
You know, what was first? What year was Monster? Oh, not Monster was kind of new, right?
Yeah,
no,
way after
2012.
2012, and Monster's been around since at least the early to mid 2000s.
Yeah,
that was already established by that point.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, for The Elder, I hated the album cover. It came in real low for me too. The brown just didn't work, and either what Ahmed said with the cover Killers would have worked, or if they had something where like maybe they had like more kind of comic booky, where maybe they would have the four kiss faces as like the Elder kind of guys, and have like a shadow of the dude or the kid or whatever looking up or something. I don't know.
Morpheus,
yeah. Or how about this, like with your type of concept, but maybe like a rose in the center, like with a beam of light hiding under the rose, the Lord of the Rose.
I mean,
that would have been cool.
A fucking doorknob, or I don't know, weird. It's just weird. That being said,
what's that?
Yeah, what would you say? I'm sorry.
More to the story. They could have done so much more with it. You got this story.
Right. You got this big ass story, right, Ahmed? You got this big ass story, and you're giving us a brown fucking cover with a door and a hand.
Here's a question.
Weird.
Since we're talking about Killers as well, do you think that if they would have had those songs written and decided to put them on The Elder, and possibly, even though it's not towards a concept or anything, but still written around the same time, do you think maybe that if those were singles, it would have sold better?
No.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think it became fan favorites because they were like harder, maybe not really harder to find songs, but they weren't like legit on.
Yeah. I think it would have ended up just like Creatures in the Night, kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I think they may have would, because the four original songs on Killers are great rock songs, which is what people wanted. And Creatures of the Night tanked because it came too late. You had the three albums that were far off from what they were already doing from previously, so it was alienating people. So maybe by 81, if they may have could have saved themselves. That's my theory, just because of the style of the songs.
Yeah.
If those were on there, that would have been cool. Yeah, been a better album.
Kept going off the deep end, and the only thing that would save them and make any people pay attention to them was taking the makeup off.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Number 17, Sonic Boom. Damo, what you got?
Dude, this is hideous.
Really?
Hideous album cover. Yeah, and I love the album. I really do like this record. But and the guy, it's a guy who designed. Yeah. Oh God.
There you go. Yeah.
Dude, it reminds me of like a Kmart ad or something.
Well, Walmart.
No, it looks like it reminds me like 80s Kmart for some reason. That whole album cover. But it was the guy who designed it was the same artist from the Rock and Roll Over.
How crazy is that? Yeah.
Yeah, which is one of the most iconic album covers from the band, but it just
missed the mark. What do you got, Ahmed?
I didn't think it was that bad. It was all right. Not one of my favorites, but there's definitely been worse. It was all right.
Yeah.
I give it a C+.
Greg.
I also ranked this in 17 because I do like the album cover. I do, it's not bad, but the problem with it is that it was a direct ripoff of Rock and Roll Over. There was no originality to it. That was my main gripe to it. Like, yeah, you had the same artist that did it, but did you really have to rehash something that you've done previously?
Right.
Which is so iconic. It's obvious. It's just such an obvious ripoff.
Yeah. You should have had Ken Kelly do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike D. Sonic Boom.
It's funny because I'm looking at this one and I already knew where I put Carnival. Rock and Roll Over. So I'm like, this kind of reminds me of that. So I had no idea that was the same artist. I'm like, it kind of reminds me like they're trying to do that again, but just not as good. The colors pop in it. I think I had this like mid-ranked somewhere.
Yeah.
But
same thing with me. I don't hate the album cover. I don't think it's great. I thought it could be better, but the colors do pop.
Yes.
So, I'll say that the colors do pop. If they kind of elaborate it more, even if they were totally ripping off Rock and Roll Over, they could have did the same deal with a little bit different concept. Maybe if the faces were closer. I don't like that the faces are that far away. It's kind of weird to me. I don't know. But I like the colors.
I wish they would have added like their bodies with the new outfits, the same way they did with the Love Gun and the Destroyer outfits.
Yeah.
They would have meshed together more instead of just having those headshots, and then you open it up, and it's them in the Destroyer outfits.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Damo, number 16, Monster. What you got?
Yeah, man, it's a weak album title. I thought. I thought the album cover was just like same thing, kind of like lazy, like what Greg mentioned earlier. I mean, the Monster. They use the same font as the Monster Energy drink.
That's so on the nose.
It doesn't help that I'm not really too crazy about the album too. But I really should give it another spin.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
I think it's better than Sonic Boom. I think it's better than Sonic Boom, to be clear.
Really, I like Boom a little bit better. I think.
Yeah,
but it's close.
I don't know. They're both pretty much leveled on the same level for me.
Ahmed, what you got on this album cover?
It's all right.
It's just there, yeah.
The Monster logo, the energy drink, whatever. It just looked like a photo session. We're like, okay, this is cool. We'll use that as.
Yeah, it was
first word
to come picture.
Yeah, Mike D.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I thought it was a cool picture. I don't know. I think I had this mid-ranked somewhere. I don't know. I didn't really even look hard enough to see the Monster symbol on
it. Greg?
I think I already mentioned that with Monster. I think from now, I can see it starting to differ a little bit with our list. So I'll just talk about my opinions on them as we go along.
Yeah.
So that way I don't get ahead of you too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, Monster, great promo picture. The logo was a little goofy. I seen better. You know how like fans make their own little album cover. I seen a lot of better ones that the fans made. I was like, wow, that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it seems lazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they could have did a lot more with that album title.
You know what though, and the thing is though, who really buys the hard copy anymore? So
all the Kiss fans, all the Kiss fans do.
I guess. Yeah, I'm sure.
Listen, you could put out Destroyer with a different album cover on it, and we'll all buy it. It's just the way it is.
What did it chart? I'm gonna have to look that up. Like, because I know Sonic Boom.
It's number
2.
Was the highest charting album they've ever had.
They might have been like 3 or 4 or something. It might have came in something like that.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up because that's gonna bother me.
It might have been like 11 or something. I don't think it was.
I know Sonic Boom was 2. I remember Sonic 2 was Boom. Sonic 2 was Boom. I remember Sonic Boom was 2 because I probably said this before that. I'm reading the thing. And my sister-in-law was near me. I'm going, Kiss is going to get number 1. I look at the level, like, who the fuck's Michael Bubble? And she's like, Bublé. I'm like, who the fuck's Michael
That's
Bubble?
why I remembered that too.
I didn't know who Bubble was.
Yeah.
I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
I never
Why
heard
is
of
he
him.
number 1?
I'm like, man, he just screwed Kiss out of the number 1 record.
I know. Who's
Son of a
Michael
bitch.
Bublé?
That Michael Bubble.
It's,
Michael Bubble.
It's in
But-
the U.S. It charted number 3.
At 3.
So-
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Ah.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving on to number 15, Damo Asylum.
I think on my list, I might have had this as the worst.
You did. Yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah. I just absolutely hated this album cover. Still do. It just, I don't know if they're trying to go for some Andy Warhol kind of pop art. It's definitely very 80s looking,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just it's definitely my least favorite album cover, but I love the record.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Ahmed?
I love the cover and the record.
Yeah.
I think it was cool, just a sign of the time. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. Mike D?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, didn't love it. It was just kind of there.
Greg?
I ranked this actually number 13. So I don't mind it. It's definitely a product of its time. I think what they were trying to do was kind of like, like their lips were different color, like I think that,
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny,
I
guys.
think-
I had this number 13 also.
Yeah.
all right, good taste, sir. I think I actually wished I think it definitely fit with the image of the album and the time that it was released. So it's definitely perfect for that moment. I actually prefer the back cover. I thought that would have been a better cover.
Yeah.
And maybe
I
just
was okay
reverse
with
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you just reversed it, that'd be really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. For me, Asylum, I thought the album cover was okay. I didn't really mind it too much. It probably went middle for me somewhere. Great record, half decent album cover, awful tour outfits. But that's another.
I
that's for
love
another-
them.
Oh man,
I love them. I love that it's gaudy.
Oh.
It's over the top.
they look like the
it's
Golden Girls.
Kiss.
Come on.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
my-
love the Golden Girls. You leave B. Arthur alone. She is a treasure, damn it.
I love that shit too.
I love the Asylum look.
I
man, you like the-
wasn't really a fan. of it.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I love the Asylum look. I guess I just have bad taste. Like, I love the
Everything
I love
was
the look.
neon at that time, though. Everything was neon. It was all the Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior colors.
Exactly.
Look at everybody.
Perfect.
Motley Crue was doing Theater of Pain around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
No one,
time.
no one got away from that back then.
No, not at all.
And I loved it. I loved Ozzy when he looked like that. I think
Mhm.
that's great. I love the glitter. Rock and roll needs more glitter. All right. I'm just saying that. It needs more glitter. We're going without it, and it's boring. We need more glitter. Bands need to pop. They need to shimmer in their lights.
There you go. Number 14, Animalize. What do you got, Damo?
From here on down, I actually like all the album covers going down. It was definitely like the first. It was the first 5 I did not like, but Animalize I like. I mean, when you hear it, oh yeah, Kiss album Animalize. It's got all, you look at the cover, it's got all the animal prints, and that was definitely totally 80s. But it's still, you still see people wearing leopard and tiger shit and stuff.
Yeah.
So it is sort of like timeless in a way, and it's still it even now. I don't think to my eyes it doesn't look dated.
I thought it was pretty cool. I liked it, and I liked the way they used it in the stage show too. How on Animalized Live
On the stage, yeah.
tour,
The stage show was great.
cool. Thought the back cover was cool. The album, it grew on me, but at first I only listened to 3 songs on it.
There's only 3 good songs on that record.
There's some filler on that album.
Well, now I've grown to like the weird B-sides, like The Lonely is the Hunter and
Yeah.
Murder.
Oh yeah.
While the City Sleeps is great. I think that's a good
Yeah.
song.
So yeah, I like it.
Mike D, Animalized. That was
I
your
don't
worst.
know. Am I looking at a different album cover? Then it just, to me, it's like boring. It's like what, a leopard, a tiger, and what? It's like just kind of
Zebra.
zebra. Yeah. Like it's just, I don't know. Like what was the other one we said was kind of lazy, but this is just kind of like, I don't know, like bad Photoshop together. It's, I don't
It
know,
was pretty photoshopped, yeah.
like uninspiring looking. It fucking looks like shit. Looks like I think it's horrible.
Greg, what you got on Animalized?
I ranked Animalized 11. I do, because it's definitely in the middle, because I think it looks cool. I think it would make a great rug. The album cover.
Yeah.
I do love the font of Animalized, the blood and whatnot, and such. Like, I think that's really cool. I like it because I love animal print, and also like the whole purpose of the Animalized title is, I think the way to explain it was, the animal side of humans or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like that album cover could probably only go two ways. You either have that or turn Kiss into characters from Island of Dr. Moreau. You could only go two ways with that. So I'd say the original, the way it was, I'm okay with it.
For me, Animalized, I thought was okay. Same thing. I thought the tour was better than the record. The album cover was okay. Yeah, all around it was okay. Funny thing is, in the back of the album cover, because I didn't know no better at the time, and it came out when I was, I was still a kid. I was aware of what it was, and I thought it was Ace came back when I looked at the back cover. I was like, oh, is that Ace back? It was March 8th. I thought it was Ace. Funny, man. Okay, moving on to the next one. Number 13, Lick It Up.
It's not. Look It Up was, what wasn't one of my favorites. It definitely sits right in the middle, pretty much right where it's at. I mean, it's obviously it's like a special album cover because it's the first time you ever saw what they look like, So for that, it was pretty cool. And I thought it was a little weird how they're just kind of wearing just like regular clothes. I mean, they're not wearing like rock attire, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're wearing like sports jacket and like a blazer or whatever.
Live then,
what's that?
Like,
yeah.
The stuff they played live was much cooler,
right,
than what they wore on the cover.
So it was pretty much like the complete total opposite of what they used to be.
Right.
But still cool, I thought.
Ahmed?
I think it's cool for being just a basic bitch cover.
Basic bitch.
But I can recall staring at that shit at Sam Goody being like, yo, that's really them. And it took a minute to really, Paul I knew already. Like he looked the same outside of his makeup, but everybody else staring at it forever, just trying to make it make sense. But
basically, he was embarrassed to bring it up to the counter, is what it sounds like.
Forever, it's like, yo, I can't believe they did it.
You got to get that album and slide it between two other ones so nobody sees you giving it to the guy.
Not much to it. I mean, what else really are they going to do? It was just really meant to just say, here we are without makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Mike D?
Yeah, I had this kind of low, but I knew the significance of it. So, but otherwise, it was just kind of boring.
Greg?
I ranked it number 15. I think it's not horrible. It serves its purpose. It's just, hey, we're without makeup. That's the selling point. And it definitely gets its point across. But, it is very plain, kind of lazy. I think they should have at least used like the promo shots from, the music videos that they used.
Right.
That went around. I think that would have been a much cooler cover because it's still them without makeup. So I mean, I think no matter what, you're gonna get
it could have been worse too because they could have been like naked, like covering themselves too. So
oh god,
70s
unmasked.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Okay, for me, I thought Look It Up was cool. I always loved the white background. It just stands out because everything we like is black. It was a white background with them on it. The picture was okay, but the white background was pretty cool. And I got two things I would think of. It would have been a cooler album cover if you had the album cover and you had maybe a sheet of whatever over it with the makeup on, and you lift up the sheet and then you see the faces.
That would have been cool, like a little pop-up, a little pop-up thing.
I don't know why they didn't think of that.
I don't know why either. That would have been perfect. Alice Cooper did it back in the 70s. It was the technology was there. Right. I don't know what they did. What they're thinking.
And then the last thing I got on Lick It Up is I have a fact that you guys might know already. Some of you might, some of you might not. Is that they were having problems with Vinnie Vincent with the photo shoot, and it's Vinnie Vincent's head photoshopped on a mannequin. So if you look at Vinnie Vincent's body, pretty good. It's a mannequin.
And the hair
too.
Yeah. The hair is
How
totally
crazy is that? Because if you do
That
look
is
at the
nuts.
picture, he looks awkward. He's not really there.
You think that's why they dressed him in pink?
I think he loves pink.
He does love
Mr.
pink.
He's
But
Mr.
honestly,
Pink.
like knowing Gene and how he feels about anything that's slightly feminine, I do not understand because they had full control of that mannequin. I can understand if like why would they still like, okay, we're still gonna give him pink though, because I can understand if Vinny was fighting for that because of his love for pink, but if he wasn't there, he has no control of the wardrobe. God,
he don't love pink
Now
for the same
mad.
reason we all love pink. You know what I mean?
that's still in question.
Right? Okay, moving on to number 12. Revenge. What do you got, Damo?
Yeah, I had this slightly higher, but it's I mean, it was them again making a statement with an album cover. I thought, I mean, it was just like you know, I could see how some people could say it looks boring, but it's just, you know, it's like, you know, Kiss is back. Here's a slab of metal, you know, with revenge written in blood. You know, I thought it was pretty cool. Looking back now with today's technology, I think it kind of looks a little
Dated.
a little dated, cheap.
Yeah.
You know, I imagine if they were to do something now with like, you know, with that, you know, with some
They could do
cool,
something
shiny, kind of like, you know, fucked up looking metal plate or something with that written in blood. I'd like to see someone do like a modernized take on that album cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good.
Ahmed?
It was cool. That's all I really got.
Yeah. How about you, Mike?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of uninspiring. I put it down the bottom.
Yeah, his is low. Greg?
That's actually number 5 for me. I
Wow.
love that album cover. I do. What
I want to go look
about
at
it,
this
like,
because am I missing something?
Same reason why Damien likes it. It's basic, but it's a cool metal looking cover with you know, with the blood and whatnot. I think it's another thing though, where if I remember, the back image is of them in leather with the same background.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I think it's another thing where I think if they just switched it,
It would have been better.
it would have been much cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot cooler because that was a real cool look for Kiss too.
It was the best look
You
they
know,
had,
so
I thought.
I
since
thought
the
so,
makeup.
Absolutely.
Gene, that was the best Gene ever looked without makeup.
Oh, definitely.
He
Like-
should just kept to that look. You know?
Like, was that like
Yeah.
a metallic look on the album cover? Like,
No,
Yeah,
it's just
it
kind of
was-
bluish silver, right?
It's like steel. It's
Yeah.
it's like hard steel with like bolts around the edges and everything.
so it's
Yeah,
not
I
like
think
the double platinum.
No.
no.
It looked like it could have been like the side of a submarine or something.
Yeah.
right, like
Yeah.
like a really banged up submarine. I think I don't know.
Yeah, I just
think-
can't tell by the picture. That's why I'm trying to.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I like it so much because I like what it represents. You know,
Yeah.
the return to form, and everything just gelled together. It was perfect for me.
Yeah,
What it was.
For me, it was a little boring for me. Love everything else about it though, but that's all I got pretty much on that one. I'm with Ahmed on that, pretty much. You know, I agree with him on this one. Moving on to number 11, Crazy Nights. What you got, Damo?
This one kind of reminds me of like the 80s version of Rock and Roll Over in a way.
Yeah.
If you look at it,
Yeah.
you know, maybe that's what they were going after. I don't know, but I thought it was a pretty cool, you know, it didn't look cheap.
No.
Probably definitely one of their better album covers, especially, you know, maybe one of the best from the non-makeup era, you know.
Yep. Ahmed?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Cool looking. It's dope. I liked it.
Greg?
I ranked that actually. I ranked that number 9. I love the album cover. I think it's perfect to what it represents. I think it's like what Damien said. It is pretty much like the 80s non-makeup Rock and Roll Over.
Yep.
But unlike Sonic Boom, it was creative.
Yeah.
And, I love the cracked mirror image and, you know, and whatnot. And correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone else knows, like, Paul didn't use his broken mirror finish on that tour,
No.
did he?
No.
But he had a BC Rich cracked mirror that he was using.
Did he use during the tour?
No,
On that tour?
He,
No, I don't think so.
Animalized.
I think he should have. I think he should have done it because that was definitely,
It would fit.
with the theme of the album cover. Like,
Yep. Mike D, Crazy Nights.
Yeah, it kind of had a mid-range. It was kind of cool looking. Kind of reminds you like one of their older albums, kind of without the makeup on and the mirror effect.
I love that album cover. I absolutely love it. I love that they brought the Japanese strength symbol back.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. It was a good, and that was one of the records where they started tying in their past just a little bit. Gene had the bass with the makeup on. Great. I mean, I absolutely love the Crazy Nights album cover. The only thing was disappointing.
The colors.
I actually liked it. I thought it popped.
I love the colors.
Yeah, you love the color. Yeah, it's great. The only thing was disappointing to me when I went to the concert, the tour shirts, it was a white shirt instead of like a black shirt. I wish it was a black shirt.
Yeah.
I did see some that were in black though.
Really? I never seen them. Yeah.
Like a lot of the bootleg ones were black, but the ones
I loved it. Yeah, the black one, because I rarely wear white shirts. The black one I would have bought in a second. I wanted to buy the Gene one, which was a goofy one, but I bought it anyway.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to number 10, Psycho Circus. What you got, Damo?
Yeah, I should have had this ranked higher. I had it pretty low because it is a pretty cool album cover, and Psycho Circus. It's exactly what you would think.
Yeah,
it would be. It's pretty cool looking cover.
Yeah. What do you got, man?
I thought it was cool, the whole 3D thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool idea. I like that cover a lot.
Yep. Mike D.
It was weird because I think I actually ranked this lower than I should have. But when I saw the picture, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. But then when I actually went to the site and saw the album covers on their own, it just didn't look right. I'm like, it looks like it's not done right. So I didn't know it was a hologram. Like,
that's what it was. Yeah, the effect. You couldn't tell the effect. Yeah.
Right. So it didn't really look right to me. So I kind of ranked it a little lower than I probably should have.
How about you, Greg?
I ranked that number 8. That's a badass album cover.
Yeah.
It's perfect for what the title of it was. It definitely tied into like that Todd McFarlane, what's his name, that did like the Spawn.
Yes.
And the Makers.
Yep.
Yeah, Todd McFarlane. It definitely had that style to it, which was totally badass for its time. I still think it holds up. And the fact that it was a holographic album cover with the clown and whatnot, that it's just a really cool album cover.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I love it. I think it's a great album cover. Even though it don't have the hologram on it, I love the vinyl. Seeing it big is just awesome, So I bought it on vinyl a couple months ago. What's that, Evan?
I have
the actual vinyl or the album cover?
The album cover of the vinyl, the dust leaf. Awesome. It just looks great, man. It looks really, 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 really good. Okay, guys, moving on to number 9, Dynasty. What you got, Damo?
I had this ranked as my number 2. I always loved this album cover. Just the 4 iconic faces. The color scheme with 4 of them was pretty cool. All as one with nothing else in the background. That's it.
Got it, man.
Same thing, man. Sometimes simple is the best. It's cool like that. It's the first time they've ever usually used their faces without being cartoon image or distorted or anything. Just no frills, just here.
Right.
Yep. How about you, Greg?
I ranked at number 10. What you guys said, sometimes less is more. And I like, to me, that was like the peak of at least makeup design for the band, because obviously they always alter it throughout the years, especially Gene. He got very lazy with the bottom parts of his makeup.
Yeah.
I love the makeup. Less is more. And it had a good effect. It didn't seem lazy, but it's still very basic. You got what you get.
Yep. How about you, Mike?
I was kind of on the spot ranking these, and like, I don't know. It was hard for me to really, the significance of when they come out and the different looks and stuff like that. But it's like you see so many covers where it's just their faces like in that position or whatever. It's like kind of like, to me, I was like, all right, it's a little.
Yeah. I mean,
on the boring side.
I thought it was pretty iconic. I love the album cover. I love the poster inside. The poster was great.
With the straight jackets.
No,
Is
it
that
came
it?
with it was just like it was like a bigger. It was the four faces. They were kind of like not sitting, but like up here shots kind of deal.
Right.
But the straight jacket album cover would have been interesting also.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I guess they had the variants, because I've known people that got into the original album with that poster as a
Oh
poster.
wow! No, I never had that one.
Because I have that. I have it somewhere. I still have to hang it up, but like I was given it to a good friend of mine that's been a fan since '76, and he said, yeah, when I bought this album cover, or I bought this album when it came out, this was the poster.
That's crazy.
The original poster, yeah.
I love that album cover. Okay, moving on to number 8, Kiss, the first record. What do you got, Damo?
I think I had this one pretty high too. I had it at 6, so not that much higher, but yeah, it was cool. It was like their meet the Beatles album cover. Something that always bothered me was Peter's makeup.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I know they brought somebody in to do his makeup,
It's
which
awful.
is weird. I don't know why they do it. I would actually like to hear that in the history documentary. Would have been cool if they mentioned that for like 30 seconds or something. But other than that, I thought it was cool. Just the faces for first introduction, seeing the band.
Yeah. How about you, Ahmed?
Thought it was a perfect first album cover. You always want to meet the band or whatever. It was cool. But same thing like Dame said, I didn't really feel Peter's makeup or Ace's hair.
Yeah, the silver.
The
Yeah, it was
silver
weird
there,
too.
Yeah. How about you, Mike D?
Yeah, I ranked this. I think I had it number 5. I mean, I guess if you're going to rank, I mean, it was kind of an iconic record cover if you think about it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like, that's the selling point, in my opinion, but didn't really sell.
Right. No, not at first. No. Greg?
I ranked that lower. I ranked this number 12. It does serve the purpose, the whole meet the Beatles type thing, basic, this is Kiss, this is what we look like. But yeah, what makes it lower for me is that, the makeup of Peter. I don't like the makeup of Gene's either. He never did that makeup style again. Like that he only did that once for that photo. It was always, the rest was pretty much every other time. I don't know. It just looked, of course it was raw. I think it was supposed to be because it's their first album. The silver and Ace's hair. And was it Gene that was wearing that silver scarf or something like that or whatever? Like that looks stupid. And, like, why would Gene wear that? Like he's trying to look all scary. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
exactly. Or Ace. He's the guy spraying his hair silver, for crying out loud, looking like Lady Lovely locks. I just all that to me just really takes away from the purpose, like how even though it is an iconic photo, it's not the worst, but to me, it's far from the best. I do love the rhinestone logo though.
I
do love
cool.
it.
Yeah. For me, the first Kiss record, it's still my favorite out of all of them. Like even the record itself, it's still my favorite. I just love it. I love everything about it. So it was definitely probably 4 or 5 for me. It was ranked high. Okay, guys, moving on to the next one. Number 7, Hotter Than Hell.
This one just for me was always like their scariest looking album cover. I think, and the Japanese lettering just kind of added to like the eeriness, the creepiness. Gene looks evil as fuck, man, and they look like the band that like on the first album cover, they all looked weird.
Yeah.
Like the makeup's like what we just talked about, but this one they look like the Kiss that we know, and Paul's all hammered. He's hanging on to Peter. Ace looks all like high, and then the back album cover, all the crazy shit. It was just everything about the color scheme was just a really like cool, involved album cover.
Yep. Ahmed?
Yeah, I thought it was cool, different, but really cool. thought that Paul was trying to grab Peter's butt.
Yeah.
He probably was. He was drunk.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, everything he said about the back album cover, but their outfits were a little different on the back. Like Peter was a weird looking robe, and Ace had that silver dress on.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was definitely weird.
Funny that he says that whole thing about Paul making out with that chick. That's one of the first things I noticed as a kid too. I'm like, look, he's trying to get some. That's crazy.
Yeah. It was wild. Mike D.
Yeah, I always like this one. I guess because I own it too. I have it on vinyl somewhere. Don't know where, but I always like this one.
Greg.
I'm gonna rain on y'all parades.
Uh-huh.
I honestly, the story of the photo shoot for the album cover to me is so much more interesting than the album cover itself.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just think it's sloppy. I never liked it. Even when I was a kid, I never liked it. I thought I guess because it was definitely darker. It was the whole album's bad quality in sound wise.
Yeah,
like even say it themselves, it was very muddy, which I love the album. Don't get me wrong.
I wish they would remaster that record.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
I always thought it was an import.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly. It was very rushed. It just looked like that they just took a bunch of like the developed photos, clipped them out on a white piece of paper, and just decided to find
old school
other little stuff and just taped it with a glue stick and just put it on there. I'm just like, and the picture itself is shit quality. Like like you could have had like the pictures. Every other picture was fine, but no, you had to do that one. Okay, so it's not my favorite. Definitely far from my favorite.
I think I like this one a lot because it looks like a crazy import. It just looks nuts. It looks. If you look at all the records, you look at that one, you go, which one's that? What the hell's that going on there? It looks the craziest looking one. So I always kind of liked it because it was crazy. It just looked wild. Okay, moving on.
1974 though. It's not bad.
Right. It was 7. You got to keep in mind when it came out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Good point. Technology today, if they did that album cover today, probably look amazing if they redid it. Okay, moving on to the next one. Number 6, Dress to Kill, Damo.
This was my number one. It's probably one of my favorite images of them all time. It's my favorite album cover. You know, I just love everything about it. Just, again, it's a little creepy, I think, seeing them, with the makeup and then wearing these like suits is just fucking weird. I mean, the title fit the image, not like Hot in the Shade where you got a sphinx with glasses, but I just love all those, all those images from that session is just, really cool.
Ahmed?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Clever is the first thing that comes to mind when I think about the album cover. I thought it was cool. But one of the things that always gets to me is Gene in those clogs and how short the suit is on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. You look at that picture, when you were a kid, you didn't notice it. And you look at it now, you're like, wow, man, they really were like, high waters or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm. They had to borrow the suits from Bill Coin.
That's so crazy, man. Mike D, Dress to Kill.
Yeah. I don't know. Cool title. I guess the picture fits the title of it, but I don't know. Just
it don't stick out for you.
Nah.
Greg?
Like,
yeah, Mike, what you say? Nothing?
Nah, that's it. Nah.
Greg?
I ranked it number 7. It's fantastic. Like I love the tongue-in-cheek irony of it, like these demonic space alien from that with the face paint with the 2 sizes too small suits. But and the fact that they did it in public, that was on a public street. So imagine the reality of the people passing by, like, what the hell? I think it's fantastic.
Like, couldn't they have rented some tuxes or something like that?
They didn't have any money back then.
They didn't have the money. Those were all borrowed from Bill Coin.
They were making money.
They had to borrow it. Mm-hmm. I love it.
I think the album cover's cool. I'm okay with it. I like the whole Clark Kent kind of idea that I think they have with the album cover. Like you look
Yeah.
at some of those photo shoots, you see something with the phone booth, or
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
gave her some.
That was
cool
the
things.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely
Okay.
worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked. Moving on to the next one, number 5, Unmasked. What you got, Demo?
Yeah, it's another one of my favorites. I kind of felt gypped when I got it. This is the first one when I was a kid. I bought the cassette because I wanted to see what they look like on the inside. And then you open it up and the inside was blank. But I like the whole cartoon. You know, you're reading everything, and then at the end they take their masks off, but it's their faces.
Yeah.
Makeup faces still underneath.
Yeah.
And the guy says, they still stink.
I still think
it's
they
weird.
stink.
It's weird.
Yeah, I still think they stink. Yeah.
Ahmed?
One of my favorite album covers. I think that's cool too. The same thing. What I didn't know that I just found out recently, that there's a little kind of like Where's Waldo thing with that cover, where there's all these little hidden meanings behind everything.
Really?
I can't remember any of the things, but there's an X over Peter's head.
Yeah.
That he's done, or he's out of the band.
And the wink.
Paul holding the 3 fingers up with the mask, meaning there was only 3. There's little things like little in that.
Like Sergeant Pepper kind of shit going on.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. It's the Sergeant Pepper.
I never knew that. I got to look into that. I never knew that, Ahmed.
Peter was winking. He was winking.
He was winking. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really on this.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I didn't know any of that. That's pretty cool. I got to look into that. I remember the poster. Same thing that came with the big poster with them with the. I remember Gene had holding the thing with his finger through the thing instead of his tongue. Yeah. I remember that poster. I hung up on my wall forever at one point.
Also, if you look at it, another thing you can attribute to the Where's Waldo thing, their little live shot artwork, which is pretty much the shirt I'm wearing. Eric Carr's blacked out.
Yeah.
It's completely blacked out, which I guess this is why which I guess explains why he's blacked out on this. Maybe it's a recreation of that.
Yeah.
I guess I just answered my disappointment.
Your own thing. Mike D,
I'm thinking now.
Yeah, I really like this cover. It's a shame they didn't, drag the joke onto the inside where you think they're going to show you them without the makeup and then, haha, you're fooled.
Yeah.
They did it on the front of it, but no, I like this album cover a lot.
Greg?
I rank it at number 4. I love the whole comic strip and the stories of it and the Where's Waldo stuff. I also just love that whole era. It's definitely their power pop album, but it's still so good. Such great songs. The outfits are awesome, and I think it's fantastic. I think the reason why they called it Unmasked was to sell more albums. I think that's why. I think they probably would have sold more albums if they didn't put them on the bottom with the masks on it. If people just thought, if they would have bought it, they would see in the gatefold.
Well, and then they also open up with a song, Is That You?
Yeah.
So if you're a kid, you see the title Unmasked, you see a song called Is That You? You're going to buy it because you think maybe there's a photo of them on the inside or something,
Yeah. I like the album cover. It's good.
Yeah. What a great opening title too. Like, especially when you buy it on vinyl or cassette, because you always have to hear it a little bit before it starts. You just have that little slight hum, and all of a sudden, ow! Like it always used to scare me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, until about maybe 15 years ago, I didn't know that was a cover song.
Same.
Is it a cover song?
It's a cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. I just found out about 15 years ago. Yeah.
Was there some Australian band or something?
I don't know who did it first. It wasn't bad, but the kids version was awesome.
Yeah.
Kids version's awesome.
It wasn't anybody really known.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was definitely not a big name in the States. Yeah. Definitely not. The Unmasked cover, I thought was really good. It's a shame. Do you think they think now that maybe Lick It Up should have been unmasked? Did we use Unmasked too soon? Know?
Oh, yeah.
They would have probably did that,
Unmasked too.
Unmasked. Actually unmasked.
Moving
on to number 4, Destroyer. What you got, Damo?
Cool album cover. Reminded me of like an old Marvel
Yes.
comic book cover or something, with them for the first time you see them as being like, superheroes in a way, but yeah, just Destroyer, you see Kiss like with a bunch of, rubble behind them, kind of destroying, they came through your towns, it's in ruins, it's pretty cool.
Ahmed?
One of my favorites. This is the one me and my friends would always try and like clone. We're like, let's do the Destroyer album cover. They're like Peter's riding a motorcycle.
It was awesome.
But yeah, I love that. Same thing like what Dane said. Looks like a comic book album cover. One of my favorites. Probably the image I have of them the most is that cover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A few times. I got the album on vinyl like 3 or 4 times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Mike D, Destroyer.
Yeah, another one. I think I ranked this number 2.
Yeah.
So I actually have this on vinyl too somewhere. So this was always like one that's kind of stuck in my head.
Greg?
I ranked this number 3. It's fantastic. It pretty much there's nothing else I can say that's already been said. I have to say though, you notice how Ace looks like he's about to fall over?
Yeah.
You think there's a reason for that? Because he's like, it looks like he's tripping on like those rocks. Like he looks like he's like, oh God, why me? Like,
yeah.
well, didn't he even said that in the documentary that he's not too nimble on his feet or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not. He's always stumbling.
Yeah, man. Destroyer. Incredible album cover. I ranked it 3 also. Yeah, I love that album cover. Yeah, the only thing that's weird with me is that it is weird how, like you said, their stance is kind of it's just the weirdest fucking stance,
Couldn't recreate that in reality. That's an obstacle.
But it's a great album cover. It really is. Okay, moving on to number 3, Creatures of the Night. What you got, Damo?
Yeah, it's the colors I like, the color scheme with the dark blue, kind of them hidden at night, their eyes, the glowing eyes and everything, and they're all kind of like looking kind of like motionless, serious, if I was a fan back then and knowing what they were going through the past 3 records being, what they were, I would pick this up and think that they're back and they're, they mean business this time, just from that album cover.
Ahmed?
Simple and badass. Chilling in the dark with glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Money. It's total money. Yeah. Yeah. Mike D?
So those eyes actually glowed in the dark when you bought it?
No.
No.
We could say for
missed
the
opportunity.
Sure.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty badass because those eyes just kind of like stare right through you,
They pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
They pop. Greg?
That is my absolute favorite Kiss album Kiss album cover of all time. There's a reason why it's the biggest here.
There you go.
I love the album cover, the blue. It fit with the whole tone and mood of the album itself. So it was definitely in sync with what they were doing. The eyes and I love it. I just love it. And I also love the back album art, like the lightning and the clouds and whatnot. Like it's perfect to me. Like that to me, it represents Kiss at that time, that they mean business is what they're about.
Yep. I agree. Creatures of the Night, incredible album cover. The color scheme was awesome. The glowing eyes. Great album cover. What's funny is when they reissued it and they had just like the regular picture. Remember when they reissued it? That was weird.
So dumb.
Yeah, that was
what were you
stupid.
thinking? So dumb.
I don't know what the reasoning was, but and then in the back you have somebody's ass. You don't know whose ass. It could be Gene. It could be Paul's. It could be a chick's. You don't know whose ass it is.
I felt ripped off with that. I actually thought that they redid the album with Bruce in it.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Well, it was remixed, wasn't it?
It was something. They did something.
Yeah, I think it was remixed the same way that they remixed everything for Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. They completely took all the balls out of everything.
Yeah. And the order of songs is different.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. There was no extra song on there, right? It was the same.
I think it was just to capitalize on the success of Animalize.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could tell that they definitely had an affinity to that album. So I guess they just wanted to see it succeed better.
Yeah.
I guess that was their attempt of that. That can only be the explanation I can come up with.
Mhm.
But the original album cover was incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely
The whole album's perfect.
All right, guys, moving on to number 2, Love Gun. What you got, Damo?
Yeah, it's like I liked it better than Destroyer. Album cover wise, done by the same artist, Ken Kelly. You know, same thing, like another Marvel comic book cover, but you know, just them just kind of like standing there like, you know, kings of the world, and
Yeah.
you know, you got all these women with the white makeup
Love Gun
on,
girls.
just kind of like, you know, mesmerized by them. It's just badass, you know.
Like,
I've never.
Hello, honey, we're home.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been counting the hours.
I had the back patch. I bought this. My grandmother bought it for me when I was like 9 or 10. Didn't even really know a Kiss song, but I saw the album. I saw the back patch. I was like, yeah, this looks cool. I want to get it.
Ahmed.
One of my favorites, I think it's just number 2 for me. Is Love Gun outfits are my favorite. So
Yeah.
that right there just says it all. I love the Love Gun outfits. Destroyer outfits being number 2, but yeah.
Love Gun, yep.
I don't know. I heard on Three Sides of a Coin that the way the songs are listed, that it's supposed to make a penis or something.
There's a joke about that. Yeah, they're not true it is, but yeah, they said it's like a joke.
What is it?
It looks like a dick. The way
like the length of the song titles.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Now I
gotta look
gotta
at the
find
back
it.
again.
I gotta.
I did hear that though.
Huh.
It would make sense, right?
So it's not just a clever name.
Right. Right. Mike D.
Yeah, and I really like this one. I own this one. Great album.
Greg.
I think I should have switched Love Gun with Destroyer. I like I put Love Gun number 6 and Destroyer number 3, but my opinion's always changing with Kiss. That's why I can never give you a favorite Kiss album. It's always different. So I always say, you know, ask me again tomorrow, it'll be a different answer. So just now I changed I love that album cover. It's perfect. It's like, you know, I have somewhere in a box somewhere, just because I ran out of room, I have you know, the 3D like figurine set of the entire album cover with the Love Gun girls on the stairs and everything like that.
Yeah.
They're all figurines.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that like was that a McFarlane?
No, I think it was sold in Spencer's or something like that. I think that's where I got it.
Yeah.
It's really cool though. It's very cool. But yeah, it's such an awesome album cover. I love the colors in it. It looks like that they're like in their own kingdom. Hell, it's so good. Even Guar ripped it off for one of their album covers, you know?
Yeah, it's a great album cover. It's one of my favorites. I even love the color of the pillars, where it's like that green marble with
green.
the white.
Yeah,
it just looks awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the ones that are behind the curtain of Oz.
yeah. I love the whole scheme, and it's not even just the picture of them with it. It's just the background. It looks like that moonish yellow in the background.
Yeah.
It just pops. It just stands out. It's
Temple of Kiss.
and with the girl, it's just such a great album cover. Before we move on to number 1, I didn't put them on the list, or didn't ask you guys to rank this, but the solo album covers are unbelievable. That's why I was like, we can't even put them on the list. You know, we had to keep them as one. You know,
Iconic.
I think I love the solo album covers. What do you think, Dave?
Oh yeah. It looks. The artwork is so good, man. It almost looks like it's real. You know? I mean, it's just like it. I mean, it's like a beautiful piece of art. You know, I mean, it really is really well done.
Who did the album art? Who did that?
Enrico Corcione or something
That's
like
it.
that.
That's
yeah.
it.
They should have hired him again, dude. Like, what the hell? Like, maybe it was too expensive. Who knows?
Unbelievable.
He had to have been for that artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Ahmed, what'd you think on this solo record?
I love the solo album covers. It's funny that if you look at the inside of Double Platinum, they're the same pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Double Platinum. Do you guys remember? If you have the vinyl, you were able to open it up, and they had that little trick people used to do back in the day, where you would put a piece of paper and just sketch it.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell it was called, but I remember getting the thing and just sketching over it, and it would draw the picture on the thing.
Yeah, it's embossed on the
Yeah, embossed. Yeah.
You don't see that shit that much anymore, right?
Yeah.
Nah,
Is
Kiss
it
Kiss used to always be very creative.
Ahmed?
I was just gonna say it's fun to be a Kiss fan.
Absolutely. You got some toys. You got posters. I miss all that shit.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's like, Cracker Jack box. You never know what you're going to get inside.
Yeah, you're always getting something.
Love gun, bang with the little cardboard gun.
Yeah.
My copy, when I bought it, I think I bought it for $1. And dude, it was in pristine condition. The love gun was still inside, unpunched.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool. You got to see if you can find that.
I know.
You probably got it hidden somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Mike D, solo album covers.
I mean, I would definitely, if we could put them in there, I would have had the rank at number 1. It's just,
they're beautiful.
And the posters inside that went with them.
Yeah, the mural that you all put together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mike, you said that your mother draws a little bit. She drew them, right?
She painted it. She kind of took I guess from around the body up part and just kind of put them together on a canvas.
That's dope.
Wow. We got to get a picture of that.
I got to see if I can get a picture of that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you get me a picture of that, we'll try and put it up.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be pretty cool. Greg, what you think of the solo album covers?
They're perfect.
Yeah.
There's they're so real looking. It looks like an actual picture that was taken. It also, if I could be wrong, but it definitely solidified how each member has their own signature color.
Great. I think that was genius.
Yeah, it's
the auras.
Perfect. Yeah, the auras and everything. Yeah, they're all beautiful. I love it. There's a reason why they're everywhere. Those pictures.
Yeah, I agree. Great. It's just the greatest. It's just awesome, man. Moving on to number 1, Rock and Roll Over. What you got, Damo?
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites, so although I do like it. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. It's very detailed. It's another one. It's an iconic image. I was somewhere today at work at a brewery. We were doing a photo shoot, and they had it hanging up. The Kiss album cover, but they had the owners' faces in there. So it's and I've seen people do. Anthrax did it. I've seen a lot of bands do that. So it's definitely one of the great album covers.
Ahmed?
My favorite one.
Yeah.
I would love to have that as a rug. That would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, it's got to be out there somewhere.
I'm sure it is.
That'll tie the room together.
It'll tie the room together. Yeah, exactly.
I like how they animated it later on.
Yeah, I did see one like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so good, man. It really is. Mike D?
Yeah, this is I would hang this up if I had it on vinyl. I'd probably frame it or something like that. It would just be pretty badass to hang up.
Yeah. Yep. Greg?
I ranked it number 2. It's so creative. Also, I think it definitely establishes the lore of the characters, because each portion of their part of the circle is their characters. And also I love the buzzsaw of the labeling. Yeah. And, there's nothing more I can say about it that hasn't been said. It's so iconic and creative, but I don't know if it's ever been done before, and if not, I really think I should write a letter to Gene, because how awesome would it be? Because you can put pictures on records now. How awesome would it be if they put that image on the Rock and Roll Over vinyl itself?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a cool thing.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, while it's spinning.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I had to write a letter.
Yeah. Rock and Roll Over. What an amazing album cover. It's got the cartoony thing in, but also like Greg said, it had all the stuff that what the guy was about was kind of a little something about him in that little portion. The colors pop. It just, if it's in your collection, it just pops. It's got that yellow orangey kind of color. And then, you ever hear the story with the teardrop ones? Where Paul's got this blue, Paul's got a blue teardrop coming down from his eye. It's some kind of collector's item, and there's a few out there. It was just a misprint, so it wasn't it was the ink, bled over or something like that. But
okay,
yeah, man. So yeah, you got to check that out. But listen, being a Kiss fan's always been great. Their fans are so creative. You could just, and we'll buy anything almost, if we haven't already. You put the logo on there with the face paint or whatever, and it's sold. You know.
I have the air guitar strings.
You do got the air guitar strings.
God damn it!
I don't have them. Honest to God, we did an episode and it came up as like, would you buy this kind of thing? And Comments like, buy it. I got it. He's like, I already got it.
I draw a line somewhere, and that's
Listen.
That's
it
right.
had a picture on it. If it's got a picture on some kind of thing, it's bought.
Yeah.
It's
too
that
fun.
It's
funny.
funny.
It is hilarious, dude. Like that is a great gag. That's a great gag gift to give somebody. Like that proves that Kiss has a sense of humor, that they don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, and they know that, and they know that us crazy people will buy it.
And you got to be an idiot
I-
to get pissed off at that. I mean, it's
Exactly.
definitely a
And
joke.
so many people do, man.
You know what's crazy though?
They
They
get flacked off that shit.
they actually have air guitar contests.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been having that since the 80s.
70s. Iron
70s
Maiden.
even.
Really?
Yeah.
Judas
Wow.
Priest too. It was in Judas Priest video of
Yeah.
breaking the wall. He has the little cardboard cutout, you know.
Oh, Greg, you got anything you want to plug?
Definitely, yeah. Bark at the Moon, my Ozzy Osbourne tribute band, has a few shows coming up. If you like us on Facebook at facebook.com BATM Tribute. July 10th, we're playing in Milton at the Milton Theater in Milton, Delaware. And August 7th, we will be at the Harrisburg Midtown Arts Center in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So
Very cool.
Those are 2 upcoming shows that we got going on. I believe we're also playing on the 27th. We're playing Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg. And we'll be in Jersey on August 14th with Head Motor, the Motorhead tribute band, at
cool.
Brook Arts Center in Bound Brook, New Jersey. So, yeah.
Very cool. And of course, you can see Ahmed in the new Monte Carlo video, rocking out. We're
stuff,
doing really
guys.
well right now. Thank you, everybody who's been looking at the video.
Yeah, for real.
We all totally appreciate it, man. A lot of fun, man. Zach did a great job with it. The guys did a great job in the video,
Mhm.
and I'm real happy with it. I know Dame is.
I watch, every now and then myself. So
Yeah, dude, it's cool when you watch it and you forget that it's you, and you're like, oh shit, it's not that bad, you know. But yeah, man, we're looking forward to getting that together soon, and we're getting closer. We're definitely getting closer to get the Monte Carlo lineup in rehearsal. And
Yep.
yeah, I can't wait.
yeah, man, I'm stoked too. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for checking out the Monte Carlo video Animal on YouTube and Spotify. You can check us out on also. Check out Greg, Bark at the Moon. And yeah, we'd like to thank you guys for coming on. And hopefully we'll all see you soon. Mixtape States Cakes.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys next time.
Good night.
Good night.